Thank you. Thank you all so much. Thank you, Pang, for the very kind introduction. And also, I really want to acknowledge what Isla has just presented as well. Maybe just a bit of a context and background. When the I4C team and Isla and myself kind of came together to prepare this afternoon's program, I think it makes sense that between Dr. Bisla and myself, we are and will continue to kind of introduce and talk about and hopefully raise awareness of these terms and concepts. The idea of crisis of meaning, and of course, I'll go on in the next few minutes to talk a bit about compassion fatigue and burnout as well. So maybe some of you may already have some familiarity and or experience of any one or all of these concepts and terms. Some of you may not, that's okay. I can speak for myself. Certainly, it is my intention to introduce these terms and concepts to you so that there's some awareness of where you might be if you're affected by this, and also where your colleagues, your peers, your managers, your staff and volunteers, where they might be as well, if you notice any of this. So it's information sharing and awareness raising, if that's one way to put it. So my name is Yangfa. So as I explained earlier, my full-time day job and gay job is as a registered social worker and ED of an LGBTQ plus community non-profit organization here in Singapore. So my work is very much community-based. And maybe just to explain a bit about why and how I'm so interested on the issue of mental health, in particular, mental health for the LGBTQ plus community, and of course, compassion fatigue and burnout as well. Uh, Late last year, earlier this year, Oogachaga, along with some regional partners in Thailand, Indonesia, and the Philippines, we did a nationwide regional survey on mental health in the LGBTQ plus community in our respective countries. And well, you could say, unfortunately, the findings from the Singapore population were exceptionally disturbing in a way. We scored too well in terms of the instances and incidents of poor mental health amongst the LGBTQ community here in Singapore. So this is where I'm coming from. I'm coming from working with the community where rates of self-reporting symptoms of mental health are very high in the LGBTQ community in Singapore. And also at a professional and personal level as well, I've seen and experienced both compassion fatigue and burnout. Those of you who lead or manage teams, organizations in the activist or civil society sector probably won't be surprised to know that some of our fellow activists and community leaders, organizational leaders also do experience burnout. I've seen many actually. Um, Again, whether it's fellow community leaders as well as fellow professionals, my fellow social workers and counselors as well, experiencing burnout to the point of, well, not just leaving the organization, but leaving the work that they do, leaving the sector, the service, and going to do something completely different. Again, these are very active choices they make, usually, of course, and of course, there's a lot of links with personal reasons as well, personal as professional reasons. So this brings me to why I feel it's so important for all of us to at least be aware of compassion fatigue and burnout as terms. I would maybe I do want to help you understand that compassion fatigue is different from burnout. I'll go on to say a bit more about that. But I just want to start maybe with a quote. And some of you may be familiar with a famous feminist activist, writer, poet, Audre Lorde. And she says this: caring for myself is not self-indulgence, it is self-preservation. And I think this is a quote that's so relevant for many of us in the work that we do in our various communities, the diverse roles that we may have. Of course, she goes on to talk a lot more about the importance of activism as an act of political warfare, along with self-preservation as an act of self political warfare as well. But really, it's coming from the idea that we have a responsibility to ourselves and our communities, the communities that we serve. by taking care of ourselves. So I'll just leave that quote with you. In the next 6 minutes or so, I'll be showing you a video clip that'll be running from YouTube. So if you need to, so it'll be audio visual. So if those of you are multitasking, I hope you're not. You might need to switch back to the screen to watch the video in a minute, and just give you maybe a couple of seconds, just put in the earplugs or whatever, because there will be music as well along the video clip. And just a reminder on the security reminder earlier, if at any point you're not comfortable with what you're seeing on the screen, do come back. It's a 6-minute clip, so come back in 6 minutes time if you're not staying right through to the end. So I'm going to switch screen.
So often we're caught up in life's demands with no time to stop. But becoming more aware of your own thoughts and feelings and what's around you, and accepting the present moment, can help improve your mental health and well-being. Doing this affects both the mental and the physical you. Some people call this being more mindful. Focusing on the present means paying attention to your thoughts and feelings right here, right now. Breathing exercises are a great way to focus on the present and be more mindful. Doing this can also help when you're feeling stressed or anxious. This short video will take you through how to do a mindful breathing exercise. Firstly, settle into a natural, comfortable position. When you're ready, take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Breathe naturally, noticing the sensations of the breath entering and leaving the body as best you can. Allow your shoulders and neck to relax, focusing on your breathing, just being aware of it. Focus on how your body feels. What sensations do you notice? Do you feel your feet on the floor, or the feeling of your clothes on your skin? Take this time to pay close attention to physical sensations, from the top of your head right down to your toes. Notice what you're thinking about right now and how you're feeling. Just take the time to notice your thoughts and feelings without judgment and without trying to change them. When you're ready, take one more breath and try to bring this awareness with you into the next moments of your day. Breathing techniques like this one can help to center you in the moment at any time and connect you with the present, which can help if you're feeling stressed or anxious.
Okay, so I've just taken you through a quick breathing exercise. Again, I just want to let everyone know that this slide deck will be made available to you. I'm very mindful of time. What I might do is I'll just go quickly into comparing compassion fatigue and comparing it with burnout. One way that I find very useful to differentiate between compassion fatigue and burnout is I'll use a physical analogy. Compassion fatigue is a bit like having RSI, repeated stress injury. Right, I'll use myself as an example. I've had RSI before. I'm a right-hander. I've been using the mouse with my right hand for such a long extended time. I was getting a strain on that. So I've taught myself to use the mouse on my left hand. Even though as a right-hander, I've now learned to use my non-master hand to continue using the mouse as I recover from RSI on my right hand. So it's something that happened over a period of time, caused a lot of pain and discomfort. I've learned to not just deal with the pain, but to give my right hand a rest while I use my left hand to continue using the mouse. Burnout is something quite different from compassion fatigue. Burnout is like having chronic arthritis that could potentially be disabling. I do not have arthritis, and I have not experienced burnout. I have RSI, and I have experienced compassion fatigue. So on this table, hopefully it's at a glance, it gives you an idea of the similarities and differences. Similarities in that it affects the person. Both compassion fatigue and burnout affects the person physically, emotionally, mentally, and socially. We talk a lot about increasingly biopsychosocial, biological, physical, psychological, referring to how we thought, how we think, and how we feel, and also social. The various aspects of our life get affected. Depersonalization is an example of how it feels like alienation. So when I was going through compassion fatigue, it felt like I was just going through the motions of the day. It's almost like I'm watching a film of myself going through the day. So that's depersonalization. That's also another symptom that people who have compassion fatigue as well as burnout may experience. And that reduced sense of accomplishment meaning. There's a link to what Bisla was saying earlier about crisis of meaning, the sense of I'm not good enough, or I can't be good enough, or why am I not good enough, and the feelings of frustration and helplessness as well. So that's where the similarities end between compassion fatigue and burnout. The big difference, as I was trying to explain earlier, between fatigue and burnout is fatigue, the focus is very much on relationships and emotional relationships. In the work that we all do, we are building relationships with our clients, our service users, our colleagues, partners, and all that. And it can be very quick or it can be very gradual. So when I was going through compassion fatigue, I still loved the job I did. Just that every morning I woke up feeling tired. I was looking forward to getting to work, but it's just the thought of, I've got to go to work. I will do this. I need to do this. Burnout is something very different. Burnout can, when one experiences burnout, there often is a sense of conflict with the work that we do, not just with the people, but with the work that we do, with the organization that we work with, and it can be over a long period of time. So someone who experiences burnout might wake up in the morning and not just dread going to work, but dread going to work in that office to meet the people, to do the work, to read those emails. There's a sense of dread with not just people, but also the work and maybe the entire sector or movement or organization. So my time is up. I will leave you all with that. Like I said, this slide deck and other resources will be available to all of you. And in my breakout session later on, I'll go into a lot more detail on the differences and similarities, and then we'll have an activity as well. So that's my time. Thank you all.